Hi everybody, thanks for pressing play on the video today. It's Caroline here from craftycarolinecreates.com. Today's project is this very beautiful, very elegant little gift box that I made because I bought a present for a friend. I'm going to give it to her when we meet later, just as a little token. And I was really pleased with the way that it turned out. You can see that the lid and the base are flush finishing. They line up perfectly. And I just love this pattern. And if we slide off the ribbon, we can see that inside, when the lid comes off, there's this gorgeous matching lip that matches the box. And if we take out the present, which was a cute little scented candle, inside the box is also matching the outside. And you can see there's no seams or anything, no flaps. It's just a really beautiful, very pretty gift box. So if I put it all back together, I can get on with showing you exactly how I made it. Okay, pop that to the side. So we're going to start with 4 pieces of cardstock. Okay, 2 pieces identically sized. One is going to be for the base bit and one for the lid. So I've got Whisper White and Pacific Point for this version. These measure 6 inches by 9/16 of an inch square. All the dimensions will be on my blog as always, so don't worry about rushing to write these down. You then need another piece of Whisper White, which is going to be the lip bit that we saw under the lid, and this measures 6 inches square. And the last bit, which is going to line the inside of our box to give us that beautiful seamless finish, this is 6 7/16 of an inch square. All of those dimensions will be on my blog. So the first thing we're going to do is do some stamping on our 2 pieces of Whisper White. So I'm just going to bring in some scrap paper to begin with. And the stamp set we are using with some Pacific Point ink is Flowering Flourishes, which you have probably seen me use a lot before. I love these for making beautiful sort of designer series paper looks, and I think it just looks very elegant in this case. And I've used this one, which is the medium size stamp. So I have already mounted that on my clear block. I'm just going to ink that up, and I'm just going to, I've smudged it there already, so let's do it on the other side. And we're just going to stamp all around the edges. So because this is the bit that is going to go inside, so this needs to be around the edges in my stamp set. So I'm just going to keep rotating my cardstock as I go to fill in all those spots. And you are just making a perfectly random pattern. There is absolutely no right or wrong way to do this at all. Okay, as I said, you can, on this one, you can leave the middle blank as it is not going to be seen. Okay, so we've done that perfectly like that. Let's put this to one side, and to save a bit of time, I've already done the stamping all over the larger piece. Okay, so let's do our scoring. Just going to move these out of the way and bring in now my scoring board. Okay, so let's start with the smallest piece of cardstock, which is this one that measures just under 6.5 inches square, and we're going to score this on all 4 sides at 2 inches. So that's 1 side, 2 sides, 3 sides and 4 sides. Okay, next piece we are going to do is the bit we've just stamped. So this is the bit that measures exactly 6.5 inches, and again we're going to score this at 2 inches all the way around. Okay, and then our 2 pieces that match, so we have a piece of Pacific Point and a piece of Whisper White that is stamped all over. We're going to score these identically, so I'm just going to do one of them and then you'll do the other as well, so just to save a little bit of time. But what we're going to score this one at is a little bit different, and we're going to score these 2 at, firstly at 7/8 of an inch and then at 2 inches, and then rotate. So it's 7/8 of an inch and 2 inches, and at 7/8 of an inch and at 2 inches. And last one, 7/8 of an inch and at 2 inches. Okay, so do that on both the Whisper White piece and the Pacific Point piece. Okay, let's bring in the bone folder and I'll show you what to do with this, the top bit, which is going to be our lid first. I'm just going to quickly fold and burnish along all of those score lines. Okay. So this is going to be our lid bit, and you've probably seen me do this before. We're basically going to make a reinforced half box. So we are going to go up past 2 score lines, can you see that? And then here again, up both score lines. Cut off the edge bit completely, this flap here, so we're left with that sort of shape. Cut off this bottom flap here, and then we're just going to notch out that flap we have just made there, and notch out this flap and this flap. Okay, so we get that sort of effect. I'm just going to do exactly the same on all 4 corners. So I'll just do that as quick as I can. There we go. Then this one, so up 2 score lines, cut off the end and this end. Okay, up there and up there, and then just those 2 flaps on the side. And the very last one I'm going to do now, I think this would also make, you know, you could put, I obviously designed it for a scented candle, but there are so many things that you could put in this box. It really, really is a very stylish and very elegant gift box. You know, if you've got something very special, this box would certainly do it justice. Okay, nearly finished. Here we go. Okay, perfect. Let's move all those scraps out of the way. Just hold that down like that. I know some of you like to pause at this point to make sure yours matches. Bit of fuse, and where is the fuse going to go? It is going to go along each of these 4 very end flaps that we have here. Okay. And then we're going to fold over these small flaps and put some fuse on the side that has been stamped. Okay. And last one here. Okay, so to fold up the box, the flaps are going to fold over like this. So you're basically going to make a box that has 4 additional flappy bits sticking up, which is where we put some fuse on those earlier. Okay, so you get a box like that, those extra flaps, and then we're just going to fold those extra flaps in on each other. Okay, and once you've done that, it's quite important at this stage to get your bone folder and really make sure those folds are sharp. So the folds that you have folded over, just go over them with a bone folder to make sure they're really nice and sharp. And that is our lid done. You need to do exactly the same process with the Pacific Point piece of card that is the same size, and you'll end up with your top and bottom like that. Okay, now we're going to start working on the inside of the box. So this is the piece that measured 6 inches square and that we did the stamping on just a minute ago. Just going to again fold and burnish on all of those score lines. Okay, and then what we're going to do is take our scissors and we're going to just cut up one of those lines like that to the first score line, then rotate it 90 degrees and cut up the next one. Rotate it 90 degrees again, cut it up there, and the last one again, rotate it 90 degrees, okay? So you get sort of like a bit of a windmill pattern going on with your flaps going round in a circle. If I notch them out, you will be able to get a better idea of the cutting that I've just done in a second. So just let me notch out those 4 corner sections from where we have just cut. last one. And if I pop that down, you can see how that has come out like that. Okay, so now flip it over and we are going to put fuse on these 4 flaps here. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I've just snapped that. Let me fix that and I'll be back in just a second. Sorry about that. I got a bit over enthusiastic putting the snail on and I tore it. It's never happened before, but of course it would happen on video. So I've just sellotaped that back on just for the rest of the video to allow me to continue. So I'm just going to fold that. I've put snail on all of the other flaps and I'm just going to fold that up. A very classic box production process here. Okay, so that is therefore made our box, and this is going to then fit, it should fit, it does fit perfectly inside our Pacific Point base that we made before. Okay, but the other thing I want to do, as I said, I didn't like it when I first made it, how you can see these flaps inside. I wanted to try and make it a little bit more stylish, a little bit more expensive looking. So I took my last piece of Pacific Point cardstock. So this is the piece that measures just short of 6.5 inch, so 6 and 7/16 of an inch. All of the measurements on my blog, as always, because I always mess them up a little bit. And I'm just going to cut this exactly as we did the other one. So we're going to cut up a score line and then rotate it, cut up a score line and rotate it, and finally cut up this score line. Okay, and then notch those out just like we did last time. Okay. Last one. So we've got that identical shape again. Okay, but what we're going to do is when the score lines are facing up, we're this time going to flip it over. And we're going to put snail on each of those 4 flaps, just as we did last time. And I'm not going to be as aggressive when I do my flicks. I'm not going to rip it. Okay, so lots of snail on each of those pieces. Okay, that's all of our fold. And then what we're going to do this time is, as we fold it up, we're going to stick the flaps to the outside. So we're going to bring this one up and flap on the outside there. Can you see? So fold each of your squares up and stick the flap down on the outside of your box. Okay, so this one first. There we go. And our last one in place just there. Okay, so what that gives you is a nice neat box, but with your flaps on the outside, so that when we drop this one inside, it should just push straight down. It's probably catching on that sellotape. Yeah, it is, it's catching on that sellotaped corner, so you don't rip yours. And there we can see that we end up with a nicely lined box, which has no marks inside. And all it needs to do is pop on the lid. It should pop in. I think it's that sellotape side messing it up a little bit, but there we go. You can see that pretty much pops on perfectly. And you can see that flush, nice edge, but then when you pull it off, you've got that lovely box inside. Quite pleased with the way this one turned out, actually. It is a really nice box, I think. Okay, so pop that on like that. All that's left to do is a little bit of decoration. I've got some matching Pacific Point ribbon, and this is the, what's it called, Stitch Satin ribbon. It's available in about 5 different colours, of which Malin Mambo and Pacific Point are 2. And all I'm going to do is wrap this round and tie it in a knot. If I can do that on camera. Okay, knots and cameras tend not to work. They work probably a bit better than bows. Bows and cameras do not work at all. Okay, let's tie that off. Oh, prick that round that side. Something like that. You can bend a little bit longer and make this look really beautiful. Okay, and then all I've done on this one is a little sentiment from, this is And Many More. And this last time I used my friend because I was making it to give to a friend. This one I'm going to do just because, which could equally work in this case. I've just got a scrap of Whisper White cardstock. Bring my Pacific Point ink back in, and we will stamp that down just because. There we go. And I'm going to punch that out using the word window punch. Centre that up, something like that. And what I did on this one was just a little heart, which you can kind of see still there. This just because it's a little bit bigger, but let's see if we can still get that heart out. So a scrap of Pacific Point. And I'm just going to use a glue dart to stick that heart down. There we go. Just on the very end of my just because. There we go, just about fits. And a pearl to go in the centre just to lift it up a little bit. Okay, and finally we're going to stick it down using some dimensionals. Just going to cut them in half because it makes them a bit easier to fit behind the wood. Sorry about that, not having much luck with this video today. Tore the cardstock and then the battery died, but basically what you missed me doing was pop some dimensionals behind the just because sentiment and then stuck that down on the bottom corner of the box. And that is basically about it. And what you have there is two what I think are really, really classy gift boxes. If you'd like to buy any Stampin' Up products to make anything that I've shown in this video or any of my other videos, please do not hesitate to get in touch. It would be my pleasure to place that order for you. And if you do give it a go, let me know how you get on. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.